The devil's afraid of who you're becoming. Why warfare intensifies before breakthrough. If the enemy is attacking you this hard, it's because he sees something in you that you don't see yet. Here's what hell is afraid you'll discover. Can we be honest for a second? You've been going through something lately that doesn't make sense. The attacks have been relentless. The setbacks have been brutal. The warfare has been so intense that you've asked yourself more than once, what did I do to deserve this? And I need you to hear me right now. What if I told you that the intensity of the attack is directly proportional to the magnitude of your calling? What if the reason your life feels like a battlefield right now is because hell has done the math on who you're about to become? See, the enemy doesn't waste resources on people who don't matter. He doesn't send his best weapons against someone who's going to stay stuck. He doesn't unleash chaos on a life that poses no threat to his kingdom. The attacks you're facing aren't random. They're strategic, they're calculated. And baby, they're terrified. I wish I had somebody who told me years ago that breakthrough doesn't come quietly. I wish someone had explained that the greatest opposition always shows up right before the greatest opportunity. Because when you're walking through the valley, when everything is falling apart, when it feels like you're fighting battles on every single front, you think you're doing something wrong. But what if you're doing everything right? What if the warfare intensified because you finally stepped into alignment? What if hell dispatched every demon in its arsenal because they just realized you're not playing games anymore? Listen to me. The enemy saw you before you saw yourself. He watched you make that decision. He noticed when you changed your mind about who you were willing to become. And the moment you decided you weren't staying in mediocrity, the moment you declared you were done settling, the moment you looked in the mirror and said, not anymore, that's when the assignment was released against you. You know what I'm talking about. That sudden attack on your health, that unexpected financial crisis, that relationship that fell apart out of nowhere, that door that slammed shut when you were this close to breakthrough, that betrayal that came from someone you trusted. It wasn't coincidence. It was confirmation. Hell doesn't attack people who are standing still. It attacks people who are moving. And baby, you've been moving. You've been growing. You've been transforming. And the kingdom of darkness just realized they're about to lose their hold on you. So they turned up the heat. They increased the pressure. They multiplied the problems. Because if they can convince you to quit now, if they can make you believe you're cursed instead of chosen, if they can get you to abort the process right before you birth the promise, they win. But I hear God saying, somebody reading this right now, you're not going to quit. Not this time. Not after everything you've survived. Not after all the prayers you've prayed. Not after all the tears you've cried. Not after all the nights you held on when everything in you wanted to let go. Say, there's something the enemy knows about you that you haven't fully grasped yet. He knows that once you step into the fullness of who God created you to be, you're going to wreck his kingdom. He knows that the gifts inside you are weapons. He knows that the calling on your life is a threat to everything he's built in the lives of people around you. He knows that your testimony is going to set captives free. He knows that your breakthrough is going to inspire someone else's breakthrough. And he cannot afford for you to discover your power. That's why he sent depression to your door. That's why he orchestrated confusion in your mind. That's why he deployed discouragement through the mouths of people who used to support you. Because if he can keep you distracted by the battle, you won't realize you're winning the war. But today, something shifts. Today, you start seeing the attacks differently. Today, you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start declaring, what is this preparing me for? Because I need you to understand something that's going to change your perspective forever. The intensity of your warfare is the confirmation of your worth. You are not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you're dangerous. You're not going through hell because God has forgotten you. You're going through hell because hell is terrified of the version of you that's about to emerge on the other side. Think about it. When you were comfortable, when you were complacent. When you were playing small, where were the attacks? Then, when you were content with average. When you were settling for less. When you weren't pursuing your purpose with passion, was the warfare this intense? No. The attacks didn't escalate until you elevated. The opposition didn't increase until you increased your commitment. The warfare didn't intensify until you intensified your faith. And somebody needs to hear this that's actually good news. That means you're on the right path. That means you're becoming who you were created to be. That means the version of you that scared nobody is dying. And the version of you that threatens hell itself is being born. And it's painful. Oh God, it's painful. But it's purposeful. Every test is developing strength you didn't have. Every trial is revealing character you didn't know existed. Every battle is training you for the weight of the blessing that's coming. Because baby, you can't handle the next level with your current capacity. God is expanding you through opposition. He's building your faith through fire. He's developing your resilience through resistance. He's preparing you to carry what he's about to release. And the enemy is fighting so hard right now because he knows what you're about to step into. He sees the business that's about to be birthed. He sees the ministry that's about to explode. He sees the relationships you're about to build. He sees the generational curse you're about to break. He sees the legacy you're about to leave. And it makes him sick. So he throws everything at you, hoping something sticks. Hoping you'll believe the lie that you're defeated. Hoping you'll accept the narrative that you're not called. Hoping you'll internalize the rejection and make it your identity. But I rebuke that right now. You are not who your circumstances say you are. You are not defined by your current struggle. You are not limited by your present reality. You are who God says you are. And baby, he says you're more than a conqueror. He says you're the head and not the tail. He says you're blessed coming in and blessed going out. He says no weapon formed against you will prosper. He says greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And I need you to start speaking that over yourself. Stop agreeing with the attacks. Stop partnering with the opposition. Stop declaring defeat while you're still in the fight. Because your words have power. And what you say about yourself matters more than what anyone else says about you. So open your mouth right now and declare, I am becoming everything hell is afraid of. Say it again, I am becoming everything hell is afraid of. One more time, I am becoming everything hell is afraid of. Do you feel that shift? That's the atmosphere changing. That's your faith rising. That's your spirit aligning with truth. Because you are not a victim of warfare. You're a warrior in warfare. And there's a massive difference. Victims ask, why me? Warriors ask, what now? Victims retreat when opposition comes. Warriors advance through opposition. And God is raising up warriors right now. He's awakening lions who've been sleeping like lambs. He's activating giants who've been hiding in caves. He's commissioning generals who've been sitting in the congregation. Because the season we're entering requires a different breed of believer. It requires people who won't back down when hell shows up. It requires people who worship in the middle of warfare. It requires people who praise before they see the promise. It requires people who stand when everyone else is falling. And baby, that's you. That's exactly who you're becoming. That's why the attacks are so severe right now. The enemy is trying to take you out before you fully step into your authority. He's trying to kill your confidence before you realize your capability. He's trying to destroy your faith before you discover your favor. But he's too late. Because you've already survived too much to be defeated now. You've already overcome too much to quit now. You've already endured too much to surrender now. Every attack you survived made you stronger. Every battle you fought built your endurance. Every setback you faced taught you something. And all of it was preparation for this moment. The moment when you stop running from your calling. The moment when you stop hiding from your purpose. The moment when you stop playing small to make other people comfortable. This is your emergence. This is where the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. This is where the coal becomes the diamond. This is where the seed breaks open to become the tree. And it's violent, it's uncomfortable, it's painful, but it's necessary. You cannot birth the new while clinging to the old. You cannot step into your destiny while holding on to your history. You cannot become who God created you to be while remaining who you've always been. Something has to die so something else can live. And what's dying right now is every limitation, every fear, every doubt, every insecurity, every excuse, every comfort zone, every false identity, every toxic pattern. It's all being burned away in the fire of this warfare. And what's being revealed is the real you, the powerful you, the anointed you, the unstoppable you, the version of you that hell hoped you'd never discover. But surprise, you're waking up. You're seeing clearly now. You're understanding the assignment. You're recognizing your value. You're owning your authority. You're stepping into your power. And when you fully embrace who you are, when you fully activate what's inside you, when you fully commit to the call on your life, oh baby, hell better watch out. Because you're about to dismantle every stronghold that's been built in your family line. You're about to break every chain that's been wrapped around your generation. You're about to walk in a level of authority that demons recognize. And they know it. That's why they're fighting you so hard right now. That's why they're throwing everything at you. Because once you cross this threshold, once you break through this barrier, once you step into this next dimension, there's no stopping you. You're going to liberate people who are still in bondage. You're going to inspire people who are ready to quit. You're going to activate people who are still sleeping. You're going to lead people out of darkness into light. And the enemy cannot afford that. So he's doing everything in his power to convince you to stay where you are, to accept where you are, to believe this is as good as it gets. But I'm here to tell you this is not it. This warfare is not your destination. This battle is not your identity. This struggle is not your story. This is just the chapter before the breakthrough. This is just the pressure before the promotion. This is just the test before the testimony. And you're about to pass. Not because you're perfect, not because you have it all figured out, not because you never struggled, but because you refused to quit, because you held on when it hurt, because you kept praying when nothing changed, because you kept believing when everyone doubted. And that kind of faith moves mountains. So I want you to lift your head right now. I want you to straighten your shoulders. I want you to look that warfare in the face and smile, because you know something the enemy doesn't want you to know. You're about to win. Not eventually, not someday, not in some distant future. Soon, real soon. So soon that if you could see what God is orchestrating behind the scenes right now, you'd be shouting before the victory manifests. Because baby, your breakthrough is closer than you think. That door is about to open. That healing is about to manifest. That provision is about to show up. That vindication is about to arrive. That promise is about to be fulfilled. And when it happens, and it will happen, you're going to look back at this season and understand why the warfare had to be this intense. You're going to see why you had to fight this hard. You're going to recognize that every battle was building the warrior you needed to become to steward what God was preparing to release. So don't you dare give up now. Don't you dare quit when you're this close. Don't you dare let the enemy steal your tomorrow, because today is difficult. You are becoming exactly who hell is afraid you'll become. A deliverer, a breakthrough specialist, a chain breaker, a giant slayer, a kingdom builder, a history maker. And nothing can stop what God has ordained. So let them attack, let them scheme, let them rage. Because every weapon they form will fail. Every trap they set will backfire. Every plan they devise will crumble. Because you don't fight alone. You don't stand alone. You don't walk alone. The one who called you is faithful. The one who started this will finish it. The one who promised has the power to perform it. And baby, he's about to show up and show out in your life. So get ready. Prepare yourself. Position yourself. Because the version of you that the enemy fears is about to rise. And I want to tell you something else before we finish. The enemy made a critical mistake when he decided to attack you this hard. Because every time he came at you, every time he threw another obstacle in your path, every time he tried to destroy you, he was actually training you. He was teaching you how to fight. He was showing you how to stand. He was revealing to you just how strong you really are. You see, you didn't know you had this kind of endurance until you had to endure. You didn't know you had this kind of faith until your faith was tested. You didn't know you had this kind of strength until you had no choice but to be strong. The warfare wasn't just about stopping you. It was about revealing you. It was about uncovering the warrior that was always inside you. It was about stripping away everything that wasn't authentic so the real you could emerge. And baby, the real you is magnificent. The real you is powerful beyond measure. The real you is anointed for such a time as this. The real you is equipped for every battle. The real you is destined for greatness. But you had to go through the fire to discover that. You had to walk through the valley to build your faith muscles. You had to face the giants to realize you're a giant slayer. You had to encounter the lions to discover you're a lion. And now that you know who you are, now that you've seen what you're made of, now that you understand the authority you carry, there's no going back. You can't unknow what you know now. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unbecome who you've become. The transformation is paramount. And that's what hell is most afraid of. Not the you that's struggling right now. Not the you that's fighting through the warfare. But the you that's going to emerge on the other side of this battle-tested, fire-refined, faith-filled, and absolutely unstoppable. That's the you that keeps demons up at night. That's the you that makes hell nervous. That's the you that threatens every assignment the enemy has planned. That's the you that's about to shift atmospheres, break chains, and set captives free. So I need you to stop seeing yourself through the lens of your current struggle. Stop defining yourself by your present battle. Stop limiting yourself to your temporary circumstance. Because what you're going through right now is not your identity, it's your training ground. Every no you've received was preparing you to steward your yes. Every door that closed was protecting you from what wasn't meant for you. Every person who walked away was making room for the right people to walk in. Every delay was developing patience you're going to need. Every setback was setting you up for a comeback that's going to blow your mind. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was meaningless. It was all part of the process of becoming who you're meant to be. And I hear God saying the becoming is almost complete. The refinement is almost finished. The preparation is almost done. The training season is almost over. And what's about to be released into the earth through your life is going to be worth every single battle you fought to get here. You're about to walk into rooms you've never been in before. You're about to have conversations you've never had before. You're about to influence people you've never reached before. You're about to operate in dimensions you've never experienced before. And you're going to be ready. Because the warfare prepared you, the battles trained you, the tests qualified you, the struggles equipped you. You're not the same person you were when this season started. You're wiser now. You're stronger now. You're more discerning now. You're more anchored now. You're more certain now. And that certainty is what makes you dangerous. Because a person who knows who they are and whose they are cannot be manipulated, cannot be intimidated, cannot be stopped, cannot be silenced, cannot be defeated. You've become unshakable. The storms came and you didn't fall. The winds blew and you didn't break. The floods rose and you didn't drown. You stood, you endured, you persevered. And now you're standing on the other side of warfare with a testimony that's going to change lives. Your story is going to give someone else permission to keep fighting. Your survival is going to inspire someone else's breakthrough. Your victory is going to show someone else what's possible. That's why you had to go through it. That's why you couldn't go around it. That's why the process was so intense. Because the glory that's about to be revealed through your life required a depth of character that could only be formed through pressure. Diamonds aren't created in comfort. They're formed under extreme pressure and heat. Gold isn't purified by sitting still. It's refined through fire. Warriors aren't trained in times of peace. They're forged in the midst of battle. And baby, you've been in the fire long enough. You've been under pressure long enough. You've been in battle long enough. The refining process has done its work. The transformation is complete. Now it's time to rise. It's time to step into everything you've been prepared for. It's time to walk in the authority you've been given. It's time to operate in the power you've been equipped with. It's time to fulfill the purpose you were born for. And when you rise, and you will rise, you're going to rise with a fire in your eyes that wasn't there before. You're going to rise with a boldness in your spirit that hell recognizes. You're going to rise with a clarity in your mind that cuts through confusion. You're going to rise with a power in your words that shifts atmospheres. Because you're not rising as the person you used to be. You're rising as the person the warfare created. You're rising as a deliverer. You're rising as a liberator. You're rising as a history maker. You're rising as a kingdom advancer. And everything that tried to stop you is about to become the testimony that propels you. Every attack is about to become evidence of your resilience. Every battle is about to become proof of your strength. Every struggle is about to become the foundation of your authority. Nothing was in vain. The tears you cried watered seeds that are about to bloom. The prayers you prayed opened doors that are about to swing wide. The faith you held onto is about to produce a harvest that exceeds your expectations. So lift your head, warrior. Straighten your crown. Set your face like flint. Square your shoulders. Because you've been through hell and came out holding fire. You've been through the valley and came out with a testimony. You've been through the warfare and came out victorious. And now you're about to show the world what a survivor looks like when they stop surviving and start thriving. You're about to show hell what a delivered person looks like when they become a deliverer. You're about to show heaven what faithfulness looks like when it's rewarded. You're about to show yourself what you're truly capable of when you step fully into your calling. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your time. This is your emergence. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what God has already set in motion. So go ahead and smile at the enemy one more time. Let him see that you know something he tried to hide from you. Let him see that his attacks backfired. Let him see that you're not intimidated anymore. Because you finally understand what he was so afraid you'd discover. You're not who he said you were. You're not limited by what he threw at you. You're not defined by the battles he waged against you. You are exactly who God created you to be. Powerful, anointed, unstoppable, dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. A threat to every demonic assignment. A weapon formed by heaven for such a time as this. And baby, it's time to walk in that truth. It's time to operate from that identity. It's time to move with that authority. It's time to speak with that power. The warfare intensified because your breakthrough is imminent. The attacks escalated because your promotion is pending. The enemy fought harder because he saw what was coming. But what he didn't realize is that every attack was making you stronger. Every battle was preparing you for greater. Every struggle was positioning you for the next level. And now here you are, standing on the edge of everything you've been praying for, fighting for, believing for. Let me tell you what's about to happen in your life. That dream you thought was dead, it's about to resurrect. That vision you thought was delayed, It's about to manifest. That promise you thought was forgotten, God hasn't forgotten. He's been preparing you to carry it. The doors that are about to open for you aren't the ones you've been knocking on. They're bigger. They're better. They're beyond what you even asked for. Because while you were fighting in the valley, God was building for you in the mountain. While you were struggling through the wilderness, God was preparing your promised land. While you were crying in the night, God was working behind the scenes. And what He's been working on is about to blow your mind. I'm talking about supernatural favor that makes no sense, provision that defies your circumstances, opportunities that exceed your qualifications, relationships that heal your past wounds, breakthroughs that silence every critic. You're about to walk into a season where people look at your life and can't explain it. They won't be able to connect the dots. They won't be able to trace the path. They won't be able to figure out how you got from where you were to where you are. Because it won't make natural sense. It's going to be supernatural. It's going to be divine. It's going to be miraculous. It's going to be undeniable evidence that God is real and He keeps His promises. And everybody who doubted you is about to witness it. Everybody who counted you out is about to see your comeback. Everybody who wrote you off is about to read your testimony. But this isn't about proving them wrong. This is about proving God right. Right when He said you were chosen. Right when He said you were called. Right when He said you were equipped. Right when He said you were more than a conqueror. You're about to become the living proof of what God can do with a willing vessel. A broken vessel. A flawed vessel. A messy vessel. But a willing vessel. Someone who said yes even when they were scared. Someone who kept going even when they were tired. Someone who held on even when they wanted to let go. And God is about to get so much glory out of your life. He's about to show the world what redemption looks like. He's about to demonstrate what restoration looks like. He's about to reveal what resurrection looks like. Your life is about to become a walking testament to His power, His faithfulness, His love, and the enemy knows it. That's why he fought you so hard. That's why he attacked you so viciously. That's why he tried to take you out before you could take your place. But he failed. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still believing. You're still fighting. You're still moving forward. And that alone is a miracle. The fact that you didn't quit when you had every reason to quit is a miracle. The fact that you didn't give up when giving up seemed easier is a miracle. The fact that you held on to faith when everything around you said, let it go, is a miracle. You are a walking, breathing, living miracle. And miracles attract miracles. Breakthrough attracts breakthrough. Victory attracts victory. So get ready for a domino effect in your life. Because once this breakthrough hits, it's going to trigger another breakthrough. And that breakthrough is going to trigger another one. And that one is going to trigger another. You're about to enter a season of consecutive victories. One blessing after another. One door after another. One favor after another. It's going to be back to back. Rapid fire manifestation of everything God promised you. And you're not going to know what hit you. You're going to be overwhelmed, but in the best way. You're going to be shocked, but in the most beautiful way. You're going to be speechless, but not for long. Because you're going to have to testify. You're going to have to tell somebody what God did. You're going to have to share your story. You're going to have to let your testimony be a light for someone else who's still in the darkness you just walked out of. Because that's the purpose of your pain. That's the reason for your process. That's the point of your persecution. It was never just about you. It was always about who you would become and who you would help become. Your breakthrough is somebody else's hope. Your victory is somebody else's encouragement. Your testimony is somebody else's permission slip to keep fighting. So when you win, and you will win, don't you dare stay silent. Shout it from the rooftops. Post it on social media. Tell it in the grocery store. Share it at work. Declare it in your home. Let everybody know what God did. Not to brag, not to boast, but to give hope to someone who's about to quit, to give faith to someone who's losing theirs, to give strength to someone who's running out. Your story matters. Your survival matters. Your success matters. And it's coming. Oh, baby. It's coming. It's closer than you think. It's nearer than it appears. It's right around the corner. Just beyond this last battle. Just past this final test. So don't you dare stop now. Don't you dare quit when you're this close. Don't you dare turn back when the promised land is in sight. Push through this last stretch. Fight through this final round. Press past this ultimate resistance. Because on the other side of this warfare is everything you've been waiting for. Everything you've been praying for. Everything you've been believing for. Your breakthrough. Your victory. Your promised land. And when you step into it, when you finally cross over, you're going to fall to your knees and thank God you didn't quit. You're going to weep with gratitude that you held on. You're going to worship with everything in you because you'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was worth it. Every tear was worth it. Every battle was worth it. Every sleepless night was worth it. Every moment of doubt that you pushed through was worth it. Because the glory that's about to be revealed is so much greater than the suffering you endured to get there. So take the step, walk into your promise, step into your purpose, move into your destiny. Because the version of you that the enemy feared is no longer becoming, you already became. You are everything hell hoped you'd never discover you were. And now that you know it, now that you've embraced it, now that you're walking in it, hell doesn't stand a chance. Now go be everything hell hoped you'd never become.